Hello, welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about wedding receptions. We're going to talk about when to use flash, when not to use flash, and the importance of respecting the mood that has been set by the wedding planner and the bride. I'm going to share with you my setup of flashes when I decide to use flash, and also I'm going to share a few pictures. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Okay, so now that you've subscribed, let's jump right into it. Well, before then, let's watch this video real quick. So I was at this wedding and I went to the reception hall early to set up my light stands at the correct position that I want them to be, so that when we are rushing from the ceremony, I might not make it back in time. So when the stands are already there, all I have to do is throw the flashes on there, and that makes everything real quick. So that's what I do if I have the opportunity to get to the reception hall early. So today's wedding is going to be at the Civic Club in Harrisburg, and it's a pretty small reception place here today. And my plan for photography for the reception is I'm going to have one light over there, one light over there in that corner, and another light over there in this corner. I have the light stands already up so that when I come back from the ceremony, I just put on the lights. I haven't decided which light to use yet. I know we're going to lose a lot of light, so I might do the 80-200 and maybe one of the Godox 685. So this particular wedding venue was small, and with my two lights set up, I had an 80-200 on the far end, and I had the speed light, the TT 685, and they are all Godox. I use Godox flashes so that my transmitter can talk to all the flashes at once. On the other end, I didn't need to put a third camera on my camera. I usually do that because the 3-point gives me a nice kick. But when I was testing out the light, I realized that the two flashes were enough. They were enough to not mess up the mood, because when I got to the reception after the ceremony, I saw candles and the lights were off. So initially it was really bright, and then when I got back, I realized that the candles were lit, the light was off, and that has set the mood. And I have strobes. I have an AD600. I could have, blown out everything and make it look like daylight, but I don't think the bride will appreciate those pictures, because they were very intentional about planning the mood for the wedding. So I tried as much to preserve that. So what I did was I still used my flash, but I used them at very low power output, and I was shooting at a pretty high ISO so that the ambience can also show in the pictures. And if somebody is looking at the pictures and they were not at the wedding, they should get a feel of how it was. So I'm going to show you a picture that I took, and then a sample video footage my friend the videographer took, and you can compare both, and you see that they are not that far apart, even though I was using flashes. So I think that's very important. So I'm going to show you another picture where I actually used 3-point lighting. I used 2 flashes and a third flash on my camera. For this wedding, when we got to the reception, it was lit. It was very modern, nothing rustic or barn-like. It was really bright. So then immediately I knew that these people just want bright, sharp pictures. And I'm like, all right. But still, it's important that the flash that's on camera has a very low tone. Otherwise, it will look like somebody was flashing somebody in the face. The best flash pictures is when you take the picture and it doesn't look like, somebody was flashed right in the face. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed, this is your last chance, because next video I'm going to talk about how to set up multiple Godox flashes for a reception and how to quickly control power output. When you have a 3-point or a 2-point light setup, you set it up ideally such that there's a sweet spot, which is probably in the middle where people will stand. That's where people probably give the speeches. That's where the first dance might probably be. And you hope that they will stick to that. But sometimes they don't, and they move around. So if they move around and they get closer to this other light, if they get closer to light A, what you have to do is reduce the power of light A and increase the power of light B, because now they are much further away from light B, and to balance the light output and not have light A blow out their faces and this side be dark, you have to increase the light that's further away from whoever you are shooting. And it's the same way if you are taking pictures of people in the reception hall. If somebody is really close to a light stand, you know that they're going to blow up. So you can, increase your shutter speed a little bit if you can, or your f-stop, or change the output of the light. So those are the things you have to consider when you have multiple flashes. So it's make sure you have learned how to change these settings with your eyes closed, pretty much. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with how to set up multiple flashes and have them all go off at the same time. All right. Thank you. Bye.